All right, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today's going to be a little bit of a boring video today. All I'm doing is testing my footwork changes that I've been trying off and on for the last couple weeks under the advice of Seabass22. I've been gathering up all my research just from him, putting it all in one document and organizing it and adjusting what I want to do. And now the next step of what I want to do is continue to work from the bottom up, because previously I've been working from top down and I don't believe that was working for me. So that's what this video is about. I'm here to try to start working on the backhand form in the right direction from literally the ground up, from my feet to the disc. All right, so for this drill, all I'm doing is I'm doing a walk up down the tee pad, but instead of being focused on the shoulders and trying to align a bunch of different parts, all I'm trying to think of is my body in a holistic manner, look at it as one, and I'm going to use it as a body trying to drill a new form through repetition. So this requires no disc. It's what I call a no disc drill for that reason. And all I do is I basically just do this like that. Now you notice my rear step did not drag. That's one of my key goals. I'm not just trying to do my regular footwork, because my regular footwork looks like this. And too often this foot will drag and I'm not properly bracing and I'm not swiveling my hips. So I'm thinking about it in the wrong way. So now I'm thinking of it as more of a full body move to do that. So again, with no disc, like that. And eventually I'll work on the timing, nailing down the timing of each part. But all I want to do is this. Like that. I can do that 100 times. And it's not that much more taxing than running. It's not like I'm putting everything into it. And all I want to do is build the muscle memory that allows me to rotate properly, swivel properly, and release properly. I can even start in a three-step. And as long as I don't let my foot drag, you know, the goal is for that not to happen, but I need to not do something, in other words, not fall off balance in order to stay on balance, so that I don't drag because I'm doing this and my off arm doesn't lock up in a chicken wing because it's trying to balance me, or this here isn't trying to collapse because I'm off balance and the arm wants to come down. You notice there's no collapse, there's no rounding. No collapse. The only concern is my timing. When I plant, have already started moving forward. Unfortunately, I looked on video and I am, but this gives me a chance to correct that down the line. But all I want to do is this. 100% control, not even thinking about throwing. This is the only way I'm going to train myself to do this, is if I just do this. Sounds silly, and it is silly, but it's true. I just got over a bad cold that I've been suffering through over the last couple of weeks, which is why I haven't put out a lot of content recently. But also I've been putting on a lot of time into working on my form. More specifically, since I'm now working under the eye of Seabass, basically, I'm basically using guidance from him. So I have a Google document where I put all of my notes from him in there. Previously I had notes from other coaches in there, but I've refined it now to where it's just all the advice I've gotten from Seabass. I've been spending time arranging it in certain order so I can use to help develop a game plan for going forward. And of course he's given me tips on what to look out for. So I'm putting all that together into what you're seeing this video here. This is just going to be an update. I was going to make this more of a final kind of an update showing you multiple days of what I'm doing, but given I've been sick and haven't been able to produce any content, I want to at least tell you guys what's going on. So far it's been very good, and you're about to see what I've been working on, and more specifically why I've been working on these different things. Okay, first order of business, one of my commenters has asked some questions and I didn't want to answer them at the time because I'm not done formulating everything that I'm going to do, but the direction that I'm going is uniquely different. What are you hoping to find with sea bass as a coach that all the other coaches haven't or couldn't given you? You've run through a lot of coaches, and even the most recent overthrow coach you proclaimed fix your swing after watching this video. It seems apparent you need in-person coaching, someone who can physically place your body into the correct positions. So yes, I actually do need a local coach, but I don't have one, so I'm working with what I've got. Number two, because I am going with sea bass, I'm adopting his methodology for learning about form, which is categorically different than mine, and I trust his judgment more than I trust mine. I tried making a top-down approach work for the longest time because it feels like, oh, my footwork's okay, all I got to do is work on the swing. Well, the problem I have, what it boils down to, is my posture sucks. So from the moment I'm starting with my swing, my throwing shoulder starts to come up. That is a posture issue. I should not be extending upwards when I throw. If I am throwing in a hyzer, I want to remain in a hyzer, and that's not what I've been doing. And I've been doing that forever, and that's what's causing a lot of my issues. So I can't prevent this from collapsing if my shoulder's going to keep doing that. And because I'm also off balance, it's not just posture, it's balance. Whenever I'm too far forward, this arm has to act in order to keep me balanced. Same thing with this. Well, if you've ever seen me throw, and I have basically a chicken wing back arm where it basically does this and it's locked up, that's because I'm off balance, and this arm is actually being used to keep me in balance. Against my will, I'm trying to do X, the body's trying to do Y because it's trying to protect me, and the involuntary muscle movement is what is locking that up. Same thing with my throw, and this is why it's been so hard to fix, because just trying to bring it up still does not solve the posture or balance issue, leaving me off like this and making this rigid and putting me off balance. And when I spin to where my center of gravity or center of mass is moving while I'm doing this, it throws me off. So that's the real cause for a lot of the vertical collapse and the horizontal collapse of our arms. It's because we're off balance and our body is naturally defending itself, keeping it up. And so that's why it's locking these up. So once that became clear to me, I knew I had to change. And I've said from the ground up before, but what I really meant was, okay, my footwork's okay, because Seabass said it wasn't terrible a million years ago, so therefore all I got to do is worry about a swing. No, the real problem that a lot of us have that are collapsing is our arm. It gets trapped behind the shoulder, and it can't beat the shoulder, so it gets collapsed. And it's easier for us to do this than it is to beat this once we've gotten past that certain point and we're off balance. And that's where this leg is supposed to come in. Not just the off arm as a counterbalance for this, but the leg has to properly counterbalance, which means it has to be more in line with the spine. And so when you throw, you need to do more of that. So just simply fixing a swing or grip or anything else doesn't help in my case. That doesn't mean those things don't work, but you have to use the right cues at the right time, because otherwise it's a waste of your time. It'll actually make things worse for you. So this is why a lot of the coaches are now putting out content where they're putting out more disclaimers. They're talking more about, hey, if you've got an elbow drop, do X, Y, Z. If you've got this problem, do A, B, C. Or I want you to focus on this thing and maybe this thing here, but this is the one thing you want to focus on in the video. They're more fine-tuned, they're more focused, they're more dedicated, and I think we're seeing better content because of that. You know, if you don't have this problem, don't waste your time doing this. You know, we're going to try some advanced arm mechanics. Oh, you're not advanced? Okay, live and learn. Now go work on your basic swing and get that good, then start working on your mechanics. So one of the things I want to say is I have learned a lot through the coaches that I've gone through. I went through Scott Stokely, his program, and actually I just started rewatching his backhand videos because I'm subscribed to him. I'm a finishing ed student basically, and rewatching his material. And it's done in a chronological order, but it's actually done in a way that makes sense for a top-down thing. So let me present to you the other lens I'm looking at this at. So number one, I'm looking at this from a methodological standpoint from the bottom up. That's one thing. Number two, I'm looking at this from from a more generalized overview of my form, and not specific this, specific that, specific the other thing. Just generally, what does my body look like it's doing? And then third, I want to also work in chronological order. So for example, I'm doing the cross step, and I'm doing this, and I'm trying to do that. Well, eventually I want to get so good at it that I can basically stop at any of the points and then still carry through with good form. But to wrap up, I just have to say, I thought Scott Stokely's teaching was fine. I thought the trainers were fine. They couldn't help my specific problem. And to be fair, three years ago when I was talking about this problem, it was hard to connect with people that understood it. And so when I left Scott's program, you know, I won an MA4 tournament because of it, but I don't think it helped my backhand form other than help me look at it in a different light. And then when I went to other coaches after that, ultimately like Owen from Trebuchet Disc Golf, he's a bottom-up trainer, and I couldn't get out of my head to fix my swing, and I just kept working on fixing my swing, and that didn't work out. And him and I have talked about it in the past, and that's my biggest regret as a student. And regarding the other training that I had with like Neil and Cam, those were, I'd actually stopped working on form by that time, but I started working with them just to see what they were into, what they were working at. And I learned a lot through that process. I learned that I am very coachable in person. I learned that I can get a lot of these elements right on my own with a little bit of assistance. But after my discussions with Seabass and about 2 months of my own thinking about everything after my session with Cam, I knew I was going to go with Seabass for his bottom-up approach, because I need his understanding of the body and what it does in the swing to progress. So I'm done with the old method, and from now on I'm working on this new method of throwing. I'm hoping that I can put something together out of it. Okay, with all that said, I've had to move to hole 2 because the sun was peeking in at the wrong angle at hole 1, not providing for a good view of what I'm doing. So just to wrap up, I enjoyed all the work that I did with all the previous coaches, but what I needed specifically was information about my posture, my weight shift, my balance, things of that nature. I've got a whole bunch of stuff written down and stuff that I've picked out on that. So that's why I'm here today. All I'm going to do is work on this new walk-up that keeps everything balanced. This is not all rigid. This is not all rigid. So yeah, let's just see how it goes. If I can just get used to this motion, this footwork and body position. I'm just trying different things with that. I don't have anything working yet, but try to work on a little bit more out there. I didn't want to step out so artificially. Go. No collapsing, that's all I want. No collapsing, no foot dragging. Those are the 2 victories that I've got rock solid today. I feel like I'm no longer wearing my shoes down. If you look at this here, the drag, I've worn that down quite a bit because of the toe drag. Well, if I get this form down and I'm never dragging the foot, I don't have the toe drag problem, or it's a lot more rare. I'm not even ready to throw, but I feel like I'm doing good here. and I'm trying to do this. I'm not worried about swing plane or nothing. I'm just worried about that. Okay, so I'm gonna do a few of these, rest a few more, rest. Okay, I'm trying to pretend I've got a disc in my hand and I'm trying to throw it to some extent. I'm also trying to throw like this. Let the arm beat the shoulders. Arm beat the shoulders. That's what I want to work on. I still feel like my body's trying to shortcut things, but I'm happy with just a basic walk up without the body getting carried away. Even Coriolis style, measured 3 straps. Something like that. We will get it. I will get it. Okay, the next drill I'm going to try is really just like a one-step throw drill to work on the timing, because if I can just do that, plant and then throw, if I can just learn how to do that, Okay, had to take a break, had to take the head off. It's getting hot. So now the next step that I'm going to do is try to work on bringing this arm forward. If I can keep an active arm and get it ahead of my shoulders early enough, I think I can keep it ahead and throwing. So again, no disc, doing another walk-up drill, but I'm trying to do a little different with my upper arm, with my arm, to see how that affects timing and positioning. Okay, that didn't seem to be bad. This actually feels easier to do than all the other stuff I've been doing, so hopefully it leads to some good results. Yep, I got it. I felt like I did that with my arm. One more rep of that, then we try it with the disc. All right, wish me luck. I'm gonna need it. And to be fair, I don't like throwing here anymore because this brush is too thick now and too often grip lock. So it takes forever to find these putters if they go in there. So if I'm going to be throwing a disc, I may have to go to a different tee pad. But for now, we're just going to try this thing and just see how this works with this one disc. I definitely jumped the gun there. That was weird. We're not doing that again. Oh, that's why I don't like to do that. Okay, remember folks, bring a retriever, retrieve a disc. Okay, we made it to hole 5. I'm now just gonna try some no disc walk-ups just to warm back up, and then I'll see about adding a disc to the throw if I can put myself into a position to do that. So it's just gonna be this 60%. But I've got to find a way of getting this to beat that. So I'm going to work on that, 50, 60%, and then get that arm moving. Drag the elbow, whatever it takes, just like that. Okay, one more of those, then I'm going to try it. I feel like I'm rushing it. All right, the thing to remember is it's not important where the discs go. It's important that I can find them again because I need to throw them. I'm definitely starting to throw too early before I plant. Well, that's one way of doing it. This is definitely not learning how to throw. Just trying to activate the arm at the right time, and it's not working. Felt terrible. Looked like I had a ton of wobble, so I can tell I'm failing on a lot of parts of the throw as it is. All right, I feel like I'm losing a little bit of focus on what I want to do by what my body is trying to do. So I need to focus back up. What do I want here? I'm not going to throw this disc. I want to be in balance. I want to rotate the body properly through a full body action. So now we're going to pause where I plant. That's too aggressive a plant, I know, but I felt like I was still dragging the arm, like it wasn't coming through naturally like it's been doing without a disc. I mean, this is how to learn how to walk up and throw, so I need to do it. And it's not going to look great, but it's a start. If I can get this to go through. I threw before I even planted. That's crazy. My body just wants to throw before I plant. That is unreal. Unreal. That wasn't bad, but that was still weird. I felt like this arm was not good. Well, it's something, even if it's not what I want. Okay, so the whole purpose of this is to just eke out a new throwing form, at least from the ground up. And it looks like I'm not going to be able to throw properly today, but I'm going to continue to work on getting it to where I can swivel and throw. Has potential if it doesn't have aim though. Okay, let's try this. It's too reckless doing that with the arm, so that's not how I'm supposed to throw. Definitely learning the wrong timing. All right, I'm going to try a few more throws. I'm really getting tired, and I'm a little frustrated that I'm not having the success I thought I might have. I knew I was going too aggressive, but I really thought I could do this all in one day. Just going to do 5 throws, hoping to implement what I've tried to implement in the beginning. And just see how it goes. Just trying different things with the putters. There's some potential there. The problem is none of these throws are any farther than any of my regular throws. So there's no difference. I can only hope that there's better form elements about what I'm doing, but there's no better visual elements because it looks just the same. Looks like I always do. Looks like how I always throw putters. Shank to the left, shank to the right. Too high, too low. Not terribly good. That's my disc golf experience. That's as close as I'm going to get to a good throw today. All right, that's going to do it. I've got a lot more to work on. Clearly, I'm going to have another consultation with Seabass next week. I'm going to try to figure out a next step. Because what I have, the movement feels so good. It feels like it has so much promise. And then I can't do any of the stuff in the middle. So yeah, we'll figure it out. Thank you very much for watching and have a great day.